Hey guys, I'm just gonna be teaching a little lesson right now.
Do a warm up first.
Alright, I mean I warmed up enough, so I'm just gonna
I know, but you gotta wait for people to come.
be doodling while you guys join in. I want to be giving a lesson on just basic arm anatomy and methods to getting better at it without having reference or without having an under sketch or whatnot, and just being able to pull it out from your head. Let's get a group of people. Hello guys, how are ya? So if you're new, you're just getting here, I'm gonna be showing you my tips and secrets. Not really secrets, just methods that I figure out that help me to draw without having to use reference, build up the confidence. And are we good? Getting a brunch? Alright, hey guys. Alright, I think this is enough people. So the main thing that I was making a video before this, and my girlfriend's like, hey, just go live. The main thing is using a ton of reference before you like build up the confidence to just go.
Sorry, I'm trying to.
Before I've completely lost what I was saying. You need to use a ton of reference. Like I used Google Images, like it was my Bible, and I would constantly use it to just learn the muscles, because I was drawing without reference for since I was a kid, and I would just make up stuff as I was going, and it didn't always have to be accurate, but I was like, oh, I think it looks nice. But the main important thing is you need to know what you're drawing before you're drawing it. So like I forget the names of these muscles now, but I knew the names of every single muscle, like interior deltoid, exterior deltoid, the long head, short head, medium head of the tricep, all that. And even I translate it to like when I'm drawing cars now, I feel like I should know the parts of the car before I start drawing, because sometimes when you know the name and you know what it's for and its purpose, and you can just have like a little checklist in your head telling yourself, okay, so I'm missing, for instance, the lats, or I'm missing the trapezius muscles, right, around the neck. And it's important to have like a visual memory of it and a little library that you can just pick out from and just go like, all right, I have this, 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 and that. So for here, I just draw a bunch of muscular dudes on my downtime. Sorry if I'm gonna get better at teaching. This is just the first time. It's kind of weird. Usually I just draw for you guys for like my own.
People are just talking to me, Rich.
Are you guys just talking to Janice? So
How long have you been into drawing?
I've been
How long have you been into it?
into drawing my whole life. I'm 25. I've been drawing since I was like 3. So it's been some time.
Ew.
Sorry, my bad.
Classy.
More questions, baby?
People are just sending you emojis.
Oh, thanks for sending me emojis, guys.
Heart emoji, thumbs up emoji.
Yo, guys, if you guys have any questions,
Will you guys ever collab? We actually kind of collab a lot,
we collab often.
but we just don't give each other credit because we hate each other.
Yeah.
How'd you describe your style?
It's like I was super inspired by animes, and I was also super inspired by like Western comics. So it's kind of like in the midst of the both.
Yeah, I would say that's accurate.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to find your style? I think you just draw whatever like you see. I don't know if it
Yeah.
just like if it even like you think about it. It just
Yeah,
comes
you
naturally
don't
to you.
think about it. For me, it was like I built up the knowledge. So like now that I know anatomy better, I just I use that to enhance my style in a
Because
way.
I look at your old drawings and they look exactly the same, except you're better now.
Yeah,
It's like
exactly.
a better version of your old drawing.
Yeah. I think you have a style like in you that you just have to work on.
Your girlfriend is beautiful and your art is too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Um,
Any tips for studying images and material?
just draw exactly what you see. Like just keep doing that. Keep drawing exactly.
Do you like focus on? Are there certain things that you should be focusing on?
Like
Maybe
I would,
don't focus on the lighting. Don't focus on the
yeah.
color.
Like what you're seeing me doing right now is usually how I studied. So I would like just draw what I saw, the muscles and whatnot, and I keep doing it. I learn the names of the muscles. I know like the back was super tricky for me to learn when I was first starting because I had to just keep making names of like I had to just make it up for myself. But it kind of like gave me OCD when I looked at it and I knew that I was doing something wrong.
When did you notice improvement in your style? When
Um,
did you see yourself really improving? I
once
think fourth year for you, third or fourth year you like
there was
kind of just like
there's a couple times like right before I went to college, I broke my foot, so I was just at home, and I just spent like more and more hours just drawing.
you're kind of forced to.
Yeah, and then I came up with the cross hatching technique, like when I was 18, and I was like, oh damn! But at that time, my anatomy was still like pretty weak, so I had to go to school, and then I would say like third year of college or fourth year is when my anatomy game really improved, and then I was like, oh okay.
Alan says, "Where did you go to school?"
Hey, is Alan? Is there?
Alan, yeah.
Hey, Alan. We went to school together, boy. We went to school at Sheridan College.
Do you picture a full pose in your head, or start with a part and then the rest will follow?
I'm not. When I'm doing this stuff, I don't picture anything in my head. I just,
You just let your hands.
yeah, I'm just letting my hands go because I know I've drawn this so many times that I kind of just. It would be weird if I didn't know how this looked like anymore. Like I
Did you
said,
make any friends at school, Alan?
Alan. Yes, you're my friend from school.
When will you post an update on Kickstarter for Con?
I was gonna do that
I
today.
think you have a lot that you can.
Yeah,
show people.
I was gonna do that today after this, because I was just getting more and more stuff done so I can post it and make you guys proud.
This time move the camera higher because the chat's covering the bottom. So you're
Oh, okay.
higher.
Or should I just move it to the left? Hey, that's a booty right there. I also really was like looking at Kim Jong-gi, and I was like, I could do that if I practice enough. So that's
My cousin Kevin says that's a detailed ass.
it is a detailed ass. Kevin, is for you.
What are y'all doing for Halloween? We're staying inside, turning off all the lights, wearing our onesies, and eating chips.
And probably watch a movie.
Yeah.
We don't have friends. All our friends have moved to other cities.
Nobody wants to hang out with us.
Isn't that right, Alan?
I just wanted to say that I love your work so much.
Thank you very much.
Kind of looks like the arm is hair nose. Yeah, can you draw more? Can you draw more thick boys instead of muscles?
More tick boys?
I mean, you draw. You have.
I draw tick
thicker
boys. I can draw like a. You want a Neanderthal?
I mean, gorillas are pretty thick with their tummy and everything.
Yeah.
Kind of. How do I make my anatomy more loose? I think when you have the
knowledge.
down, like you can do anything.
Yeah.
With it.
If you're not knowledge in it yet, there's no way you're gonna be loose because.
I think being able to be loose is like being really confident.
Yeah.
Any other Instagram artists that you've considered working with?
I mean, Kim Jong-gi is one. God, man, I forget their names. I'm just looking at a bunch of them today.
Is there an animation or a movie for the graphic novels that have been asked a couple times?
Is there an animation for the movie? Pardon?
Or a movie for your graphic novel?
I have a short film that is on Instagram if you guys want to check. It's only a minute long. But yes, I'm planning on making it into a Netflix show
Something like that.
in the future.
Are you gonna do another coloring contest?
Maybe not. I did them twice. The first one did really well. The second one was like an I don't know. Maybe if I get around to it again, or I'll have another contest. I want another contest, but I don't know if I'll have a coloring contest. I kind of want to make you guys draw instead.
How did you get so good at drawing? What kind of practices do you do? You just draw every single day. Favorite anime, favorite anime, favorite anime?
Favorite anime? We watched Gantz Zero yesterday.
That's not an anime.
It's not an anime, but it's based on an anime. It was a 3D film. It was so good. Favorite anime, Samurai Champloo, Cowboy Bebop. Speaking of which, let's draw that. I love Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. What else? Honestly, I always get inspired. Like, I didn't even like Devilman Crybaby that much, but it still inspired me, like, a crap ton.
Alan says, by the way, the level of life drawing out here is so low. It sounds harsh, but people hear the quality is below first year Sheridan.
Where?
I don't know. Who draws better, you or her? I think we all know who draws better, right?
Yeah, you all know that.
Can you try drawing something very cute besides Janice? Everything you draw is so badass.
Yeah.
Actually, you guys don't even know how like cute Rush's drawings can be. They're actually they can be so cute.
Yeah, I draw cute stuff, but I don't post it on
I always
Instagram.
tell you to draw cute stuff because I want him to do it for me. Do you have a favorite video game?
I don't play video games. I always feel guilty if I start playing a video game because I don't get work done. But I plan on playing soon. My friends always message me telling me to start playing some games, but your boy's gotta work.
What pen do you use? Muji.
I'm using a Muji pen. I don't know what it's called. I can't read it. But it's pretty good. Make sure you don't get a splash of water on it because it will.
It's water-based.
Yeah, it's water-based. It blends like quickly. And I sweat a lot. So yeah, it does some damage.
You should play something with less static, Rich.
Alright, let's play. What else you guys want to see me draw? I'm just going to fill up this sketchbook with... What's going on with the lighting? What's going on with this lighting?
You gotta tap it.
Oh, okay. There you go.
God, you're such a noob.
Sorry.
Can you do anything without your mouth?
No. Can you draw a ghost? Draw a monqueta. Draw the blind monkey. Alright, let's draw a blind monkey. So, I like practicing action poses too, which is a little different. I also really like clothing, like being able to draw clothing accurately. That took more time for me than actually learning how to draw muscles. And that just has to do with understanding the point of tension, like where the fabric seams are, understanding how clothes are made, and knowing when something stretches, where you're going to see the seam lines and whatnot.
Are you drawing a blind monkey?
I'm drawing Zatoichi, the blind monkey, from first book of Kings of Nowhere.
I'm looking for him.
Thanks, Jan Gems. Clothing is really hard. I would look up reference images. I'd look at like what old masters used to say about clothing, like some crazy old Disney artists, and they were just like freaking. They knew it so well. Like they had like little diagrams of where clothing would push on each other, and it was just so cool.
A lot of hellos. Hello from Indonesia. Hello, bonjour. Say hi to the new people coming.
Hello, buongiorno.
What was that?
Buongiorno. It's Italian. And then
What time is it there now? It is 4 p.m.
yeah, it's 4 p.m. Usually I'll be working on my comic book right now, but felt like sharing this with you guys.
You have so many more viewers now.
I know. So,
Do you ever mess up and have to start over when you're working with pens, even if it's something you're comfortable with drawing, like your Kings of Nowhere stuff?
no, I never start over. I just draw over it.
Yeah,
Like-
that's true.
Like, I don't know if I have examples. I have some examples I'll show you later. But usually if I don't like it, I just go over it with ink. And I think it looks cool when you have like multiple lines over something. So,
Do you have any other Brazilian references for Kings of Nowhere besides City of God?
no, I just go on Pinterest for like reference images. I don't use City of God as like reference image like for the actual comic. I just had it as a source of inspiration. All right.
Why did you choose monkeys? Yeah,
I love monkeys. I love all animals to be honest, but I was doing parkour a lot when I was making the story originally. Like it was my favorite activity to do aside from drawing.
move it to the left again.
Okay. So yeah, parkour is very like monkey style. So then I just went with monkey characters. But there's a whole crap ton of characters in this. All right. Also, drawing this character has gone so much easier because I've drawn him so often, and that's one thing I would say is if you want to get good at drawing, make yourself a little comic, and like just go at it and just have a little story to tell. It doesn't have to be crazy. Maybe like 4 pages, 5 pages, but I guarantee you, by the time you're done, you'll feel so much more like professional at drawing certain things. And I would guarantee if you make it harder, like let's say, oh, let's make it a city scene with tons of cars and tons of crazy clothing and anatomy. And I always have reference up when I'm working on my comic. Like, yeah, I don't use reference when I'm just drawing for myself because I try to take all the knowledge that I've learned from working on the comic or any moment that I'm studying, and I just put it down on paper. But when I'm working on the comic and I know a lot of people are going to see it, I make sure that I have everything as accurate to what it is in real life.
What's the Toichi's fighting style?
Zatoichi is a blind samurai, and he kind of is very instinctual. He moves, he doesn't necessarily have to look at you, but he tries to make sounds as he fights because he uses the reverberation from the environment. He's got extremely sensitive hearing and sense of touch, and he's almost impossible to like kill. He's like Daredevil in a way, except he's got monkey abilities and he's far more agile.
I have a science fiction story, but it's all about galactic war, and I don't want it to feel like Star Wars, and want to keep the story small. Any tips on storytelling?
Make a story, tell your friends about it. I remember the first time I told Kings of Nowhere to my girlfriend Janice. She's very like she has harsh criticism all the time, but she heard it and she's like, "Oh, I love it." I was like, "Really? You actually love it?" And yeah, tell your friends about it and just gather a bunch of people's ideas and whatnot. You don't have to take everyone's word for like certain, but it helps when people like it. And when people like something, it'll generally do well because that means you're not making a pile of garbage, which is very easy to do. And sometimes I make something, I'm like, I don't know if this is gonna work out. This kind of seems like a waste of time. So yeah, best idea is just brainstorm.
I think as long as your characters are intriguing, like you can make your characters different than the ones in Star Wars, and that is automatically, different.
Yeah. To be personally, I don't really like intergalactic stuff anymore because I feel like it's been really there's a huge saturation of it in the like just in the general market. So I prefer stuff that's like, what's that new movie that show that just came out with Jonah Hill, Maniac? Like that was just awesome storytelling, and it was set in our world, but they just put a twist on it that made it so much better. All right, there we go. Here's the Toichi, the Blind Samurai. I'm gonna draw some clothing tips. So a point of tension when your arm is outstretched is down by the armpit. So all the lines usually just gather around there, and they'll scrunch up at the elbows, and then point of tension becomes right here at the elbows, and everything originates from there. And that's generally what I tell myself when I'm working on it. So you gotta know where the seams are in your clothing, and if it's really baggy, sometimes it has a different tendency compared to if it's like skinny jeans or whatnot. I love drawing hand.
Like Red Riot from My Hero Academia.
I don't know who's Red Riot.
I don't know.
They say Red Riot.
Yeah.
I don't know who Red Riot is. I'm caught up too, but I don't know. Guess I don't remember who Red Riot is.
Was there a character that you struggled turning anthropomorphic? Finding a believable balance between bird/human or any animal really seems tough. Your characters feel so natural.
I've been drawing anthropomorphic characters for a long time. Like that was my go-to since I was a kid. I think dinosaurs tend to not be a nice mix with anthropomorphics. And I have some dinosaur characters, but
Just straight up dinosaurs.
that I just I was like, you guys are gonna be just straight up dinosaurs. Plus, who doesn't want to see some straight up dinosaurs messing up stuff with like Uzis and just being a whole lot of gang shit. And once again, I've drawn dinosaurs for so long, like since I was
Yeah.
7. I was obsessed with dinosaurs, so I studied them a lot. I was obsessed. I just go home and I just start drawing dinosaurs, and like accurately too. Like I would look at their skulls and the shape of their bodies, and like I try to imitate that as often as I could. They're kind of hard though, like because we still don't know how they look like. So some things.
Hamza says, Janice, stop interrupting Rush's live. This is his time.
Hi, Hamza.
Tips on drawing cars.
Tips on drawing cars. Cars are really hard.
It just comes down to perspective.
It's perspective. So like, let me use this. So I try to envision this perspective line in my head so I don't have to draw it out. But it's all about catching, making sure that you're not getting a wonky shape. Pardon? So right now I've been drawing E30 M3s, BMWs a lot. So they're easy practice cars because they're so boxy. Most cars have like subtle nuances it's just really hard to pick up. But the key is to making sure you don't make them like complete boxes, because that's just unrealistic. No car is a complete box. They all have some aerodynamic purpose. And the best thing is just obviously reference, understanding the parts of a car, understanding like what the front lip is supposed to do, what the spoilers for, side skirts, and all that. Learning the names. I was just like really obsessed with finding out what like the purpose of air intake is. I'm really into cars, but I just didn't really pay attention to what these things were, where they attached to, and whatnot. But the more you understand how things work, the better you can draw it. So.
You should just pulled off. Draw a few lines, and then draw the rest of the car.
Well, no, it's
No,
obviously I've been drawing the M3 for like a week now, like every day, because it's in my comic. Exactly, another thing. I put things I like in my comic, so I'm forced to draw it over and over again until I just know how it looks like. And that's pretty much why I even started a comic, is because I like drawing and I want to get good at it. So the best thing to do is force myself to draw things that I like drawing so I can get better. Anything else you guys want to see? I'm trying to practice drawing skulls and shading under the eye sockets. Can you give some tips? Shading, so the skull is really nice shape. Usually I just use shading to accentuate, like I use the lines to help with the shading process. So like I said, you just need to keep practicing and doing it. And I don't know how yours is turning out, so I can't give you like a tutorial for you exactly, but it just comes with repetition and you figuring out like with ink it's different than with pencil. With pencil there's a different mode to doing it. The thing with ink is you kind of gotta hold yourself back from shading too much, or because you can't really, everything is just either light or dark. You don't show anything in between unless you're using like a gray tone or whatnot. So I remember the zygomatic arch, the occipital lobe is at the back, the temporal lobe, the masseter arch, or what, just the masseter muscle would go right here. And I had to study the skull too. So I studied this enough to the point where I think I'm pretty knowledgeable on it. But yesterday, actually, I started to realize that I was forgetting. And that happens. You sometimes start to slip and forget how things look like. So I had to go back and remember how many ribs there are and where things connect to. And it's a lot of going back and forth. And sometimes that's frustrating because you're like, man, I studied this for so long, but I completely forgot how it looks like. But that's just part of it. So there's 24 ribs. 4 of them are not real ribs.
Usually they tell you to go outside the box and draw more than just your interest or what you're good at. Would you say it's beneficial to actually double down and focus on drawing what you enjoy and what you're good at? I definitely think you should.
No, you should definitely push yourself. Like, that's the thing. We had a teacher who said, as an artist, it is your job to fall in love with everything you're doing. So I see people who just stick to one thing and you get really good at it, but there's no fun in that, right? Like, I can draw a lot of the things that someone tells me to draw. Like, most animals I can draw, most of everything I've studied. It helps that I didn't have siblings growing up, or just being alone all the time. So I got to study and practice for myself, and nobody would teach me, but it was just, I'd be like, all right, this is fun. I want to learn how to do this. Oh, that's fun. I want to learn how to do that. I remember when I was 6 years old, I had a teacher who would force me to draw horses, like a lot. And I hated it because horses were not my favorite animal. But it made me appreciate the fact that after a while, and to this very day, I know how to draw horses from like when I was 6 years old. So
How do you know you're drawing with the right perspective?
I'm not too sure all the time if I'm doing the right person. Usually, that's the thing.
It just looks right.
It looks right to me, and I'm like, all right, that's good. This usually I have a very standard perspective, pushing perspective, like without having an underdrawing is tough, but I still try my best at doing it. Like I would have like a character like this, and he's like dropping, and then like his feet. And I would just like, you know, have him come closer and closer and
What's
closer.
the pen you use?
It's a Muji pen. It's good. It's not like terrific. Not important either. I have a bunch of pens that I use.
I mean, Roosh uses like straight up hotel ballpoint pens.
Yeah, my favorite pen was a pen we got at
So like it doesn't
a
even
hotel.
matter. Like you don't really need a
Yeah.
fancy pen to.
You should never
for
look
good
at
drawing.
finding up. Like people ask Kim Jong Gi, like, what pen do you use? And I was like, oh wait, what pen does he use? And I bought it. I was like, this is the worst brush pen that I've ever used. So I stopped using it. I was
But
like,
it works for him.
it works for him, but it's not going to work for you necessarily. So yeah, this is what I do. Like when I'm working in, let's say, perspective or something, I'll do this. This is a good practice where I'll push things, and I'm keeping in mind that there's a grid going on in the back, so it's like going down like this.
If you're used to drawing things realistically, how do you get good at making things look simple? I think
If-
when you're good at it, you know what to
Yeah,
take out.
so for instance-
you know what the drawing doesn't need.
Yeah, like you need to learn how to draw realistically before you can go and start doing like cartoons. Like it's very detrimental that you want to like cartoonize something but you don't know how it looks like in real life. So it's like you need to know the anatomy. You need to know what muscles to push and exaggerate to give like a look of a caricature, right? You can't just go into. You can't become Picasso without having gone through his incredible training as a 17-year-old, where he was pretty much like one of the best artists you could find for realism at like the age of 17. That when he got to like being 80 years old, he's like, I got this. So like I went to animation, so I definitely played around with cartoonizing things, and it's a ton of fun, but it's not as challenging for me as making something super accurate. But I like drawing things with like cartoon heads and then giving them like a very realistic body. I like that gun idea. I didn't draw a gun. Even guns, like,
Should I send my followers to your stream?
if you want.
Okay, I won't.
I don't know. My stream's about to end pretty soon, I guess. I practiced AK-47 because it's a very interesting looking gun, and I just was so curious on being able to draw it like all the time. I still make mistakes while drawing it, but it's so funny because now I'm drawing it so much, I'm not even thinking about how it looks like anymore. I know what's supposed to be where, because I've drawn it so many times as a mistake. I was like, oh, I missed this. Oh, I missed that. But now it's like, okay. And then I'll be right back there. And obviously, it's not 100% accurate, but like, it can be like 80% accurate, and you guys won't know what 100% accurate looks like. So you guys say, oh, that's an AK-47. Even though I can look at it and be like, I'm definitely missing a couple things, but who cares? All right, we'll put that aside. And on the back, I had some drawings of Wolverine, just practicing posing it. Like, I don't like her head here. I should have had her head a bit closer to the left. Also, I'm going to be uploading this video on Patreon. If you guys haven't already followed, I'm just going to be making this a new thing where I'll be teaching and I'll be posting the video on Patreon. So you guys can go hit it up there. Become a supporter of Coterie Inc. and learn to be the best artist you can be. We still have some time right now, so I'm just going to keep drawing.
Is that the slogan?
No, it's not the slogan. Could be, one day.
Be the best artist you can be.
I also like practicing drawing people of different ethnicities.
Are you satisfied with your style, or are there things you would change?
I'm satisfied with my style. I'm not satisfied with my knowledge. I can learn more. I can have better execution. But yeah, I definitely feel like I chose to go down a road that I'm happy with in terms of style, because it lets me push myself and experiment with things that I normally wouldn't have if I, let's say, went with a simpler style.
Do you like traditional or digital better?
I think I like both. If I'm just sketching, traditional. But if I'm working on my comic, it's hard to, like, it's just easier to be a perfectionist through digital, which is why that's also like a negative point. It's because you can spend too much time on something, and sometimes I just want to move from one thing to the next. Be like, all right, I know how to do this. Let's try something else, and keep jumping from one idea to the next. Let's give this guy cornrows.
What do you use as reference on Google for anatomy?
I literally learned the name of the muscles through Wikipedia first. I like jot down all the names of the muscles, and then I'll search them up on Google. Be like, masseter muscle of the face. I'll search that up. Or, that's pretty easy because that's just on the face is one muscle. I'll search like arm back view, arm front view, arm raised up, arm supinated, arm pronated. Like, because it looks different when when you're twisting your arm, your forearm muscles change. When your arms, for instance, when your arm is stretched down, your triceps are activated. So your triceps will just, they get swole looking, compared to when your arm is, like, your biceps are flexed, then your triceps are not so swole, they're stretched out, and they don't have that same swole look, except your biceps become bigger. So it's like, you gotta understand how your anatomy changes based on movement and based on positioning.
How long did it take you to be satisfied with your work? I don't think you still are.
No,
No.
To be
But I think when you're like actually satisfied, I think that's when you're like not challenging yourself. Like you're like, at the point where like, I think I'm good. But like,
for instance,
like
with
you
the,
said, you're not fully satisfied with your knowledge, and like
Yeah.
not fully satisfied with like the extent that you have the ability to go.
I guess what I can say is I'm satisfied with my determination, because I see a lot of people who want to get good, and they're like, I want to get good, but I don't have the time and patience. Where I'm like, oh, that's crazy, because I have like all the time in the world to get good, because that's all I really like. That's my quest in this, is to become super good. I definitely have parts in the comic more recently that I'm like, damn, I'm proud of this. It looks killer. But obviously, I can become better. There's parts where I'm like, all right, maybe this is like really well done, but can I make it better for next time? And it's always if you're happy with where you are, then you're not pushing yourself. You can't get too comfortable, because that's when you're not advancing anymore. All right, what else do you guys want? Let's draw some legs,
I think Vlad is right. A lot of the answers to these questions is just practice. I mean, you don't just like know how to do something. You gotta like study from real life, and like you gotta do that 10 times a day, whatever, how many times that you need to do
Yeah.
in order to know, in order to like gain that knowledge.
Yeah.
It isn't just like, oh, there's like a cheat sheet or there's
Yeah.
like a shortcut. There's not.
There's no shortcut.
Everything is
People
just,
used to
like,
say
lots
like,
of practice.
"Wow, you're so talented," and I'd get like offended because it was like, Dog, I work my ass off. It's not just talent. I get mad. I would like crunch up the sheets because I just couldn't get something looking right. I remember waking up like 5 in the morning when I was like 4, and I had a little Lamborghini Countach RC car, and I would constantly draw it and draw it and draw it, and I remember the mistakes I would make, and it just wouldn't come out looking right, and I just scrunch it up, throw it away, and just keep doing it over and over again. And then, every kid was drawing at that age when you're a tiny kid, but it's the amount of like determination you have and just being like, I'm not giving up just because I can't do it right now. That's
I think
what.
like how you're different from like other artists is like you're aiming to like be the best. Like your goal is to like I want to be one of the best.
Yeah.
And that's like a really crazy like thought, but like you're so confident in yourself that that's why you're able to push yourself this far.
Yeah, I was a little cocky bastard in school.
Yeah, you were.
I'm very cocky. I try to be more humble.
You're not anymore.
Yeah, I'm trying to humble
I'm pretty
down.
cocky too, though.
It's nice to be confident, and
I'm
it's
like cocky and humble at the same time.
Yeah, I had a very strict teacher who would tell me, "You're not that good." Like in art school, even though he'd tell my mom I was like his best student.
Left.
Pardon?
Left.
Yeah, even he would tell me like, "Oh, I'm his best student" to my mom, but then to me, he'd be like, "Oh, once you go to college, you're gonna be like pretty pathetic." So I took that as a challenge, and I went to college, and I was like, "I'm pretty good." I wasn't great, but I was like,
you were still fan.
yeah, I failed college. I got kicked out of art school. I had to get back because of Janice. I was like really slacking off.
Well, not in the. Well, no, actually, you were too. In the art field too, because you just wanted to draw whatever you wanted to draw. You
Yeah.
didn't want to draw what like people told you to draw.
Yeah.
So I think, but that's also something that you should learn from in terms of discipline. It's like whether or not you like the task, you should
Exactly.
put 100% into it. But I think you're much better at that now.
Yeah. Also, you become an independent artist, and you kind of like draw this for me, draw this for me. Like, all right, I have no choice but to draw this because this is how I make money. And then eventually, now I don't even do commissions anymore because I still just want to draw what I want to draw.
What type of stuff did you work on while being a concept artist? We worked on like another comic. We worked on a video game. We worked for commercials, storyboarding. Literally, we weren't just like concept artists. We were actually just everything.
Yeah, I was a comic. I was mostly a storyboard artist and a comic artist, but it wasn't like line drawings. It was like painting and stuff. And I'm not. It's like one page would take us like a month because it was just that detailed, and I just didn't enjoy that. And I just want to kind of explore my own comic and my own style.
I hope your shit gets animated for my kids to watch when they're young.
Oh, dude, I don't know if
Yeah,
your
I don't
kids are
think
going to
they'll
watch
figure.
this. This is not
Appropriate.
definitely not for kids. I've been inspired by like when I was a kid. I would like 7 years old, 8 years old. I was into Grand Theft Auto. I would like draw animals ripping each other to shreds, like blood everywhere. I wasn't into kid stuff growing up. And I'm definitely not into kid stuff now. I really don't want to be for a kid.
You drew animals having sex.
Yeah, I would draw animals having sex. I drew like hentai,
So vulgar.
bad stuff.
But now you're a changed man.
Now I'm a changed human being. And I draw anthropomorphic humans.
Would you
Killing
recommend
each other.
being a concept artist? Dude, if that's what you like.
If that's your
Sure.
style. Not everybody has to be a comic artist. Not everybody has to be a layout artist or anything. I know people who.
I would love to be a concept artist.
Yeah,
I think.
it's what you succeed at. What are we gonna draw?
Can you draw Samurai Jack?
Can I draw Samurai Jaku Sana Dosharakana? Let me get a picture of him on the screen so I can draw him in my style. Let's see. Samurai Jack.
That was racist.
Sorry, well, that wasn't how Aku said his name.
be drawn with a beard though?
With the beard? Oh, he does have his beard version. I kind of already changed. No, I'm not going to draw him with a beard. But I'm going to draw him with like... I already gave him his slick back hair.
Rich, you
Pardon?
didn't remember to print a left because the chat is right there. Do you not see the chat?
No, I don't.
It's right, like, look. This is how it looked like. See how it's in the way?
Yeah. It's not easy because it's too far.
Dash004, you're my idol #1. Just wanted to let you know.
Thanks, Dash. I appreciate that, dude. So let's... Right. So I have reference of like the normal Samurai Jack. And once again, fabric practice has come in handy for this. Point of tension is right here, and it folds up here. And then we come here.
What was your biggest inspiration to keep pushing forward? I think the fact that you wanted to be the best.
I want nice cars.
Oh, so you want to be rich.
I'm Persian. My mama was always telling me you gotta be the best at what you do. My dad would tell me. Yeah, it's a Persian thing. You gotta be like the best at what you do or it's pointless.
Zach just signed up for your Patreon.
Hell yeah, thank you, Zach. I'll be updating that today with this video. I appreciate it. Papa bless.
For a pen or pencil?
Do I prefer pen or pencil? It changes. For a while I thought I liked pencil more, but now I'm, once you're really good at something that is not necessarily something people like, freehand inking is definitely something that was on my bucket list to get good at. And I would say I'm pretty good at it now. So I like this now more than penciling. Even though if you look at my comic once it's out, even though it's digital, it's more of a pencil brush because I just love the look of pencil.
An art of book for Con would be sick to see all the sketches and stuff.
Yeah,
Plus,
I'm working on it.
works.
I'm working on it right now.
Is like a realistic version of him.
Oh, Samurai Jack? Yeah. I hope you guys are enjoying this realistic version of Samurai Jack.
I'm not.
Uh-huh. Let's see what's a good foot positioning. All right, point of origins. Remember, constantly remembering. Point of origins.
Oranges.
Origins. So where the fabric. Kind of looks like a Jedi pose, but.
Can you add some shine on his sword? I think they probably want to know how you do it.
No, I wouldn't add shine on this now. If I had a white, I would like pating right there, but.
Yeah, you have to make the whole sword black and then leave a space for
Yeah.
white. I mean, you could just draw the lines, right?
Yeah. I know.
Kobe's leaving. He says thanks for the live stream.
Bye, Kobe. Thanks for stopping by. That was awesome.
Don't let Janice boss you around. Shut up.
She can do what she wanna.
I'll do what I want. Like, geez, Janice has a big attitude problem.
She just got a motivational poster that told her to keep up with the attitude issues.
That was the most inspiring thing that's ever happened to me.
And then his sandals are like. Forget the sheath. And there we go. There we go. Your boy Samurai Jack in a Jedi pose.
I hope you both have seen the final season of Samurai Jack. I've never watched one single episode.
She's never. I have. It was really good. I don't like the ending too much, but still, the whole series made up for it. I've been watching. Yeah, I was watching it since I was a kid. I love Samurai Jack. And then really. Samurai Jack. I don't think Samurai Jack loves me, but
What?
I was like, but does Samurai Jack love you?
Definitely not.
No, no.
Who's your favorite character in Kings of Nowhere?
Well, that's a tough question.
Me!
Now, in the first book, I would say Zatoichi,
Wow.
just because he's a player. He's awesome. I just like his personality. He has a very decent heart, and
A decent heart.
yeah, even though he kills a bunch of mofos in this first book, I think his evolution is nice. And it's
You're supposed to say me.
yeah. All right, what else are we gonna do? Can you draw Ethan Thick Boy? H3 Ethan. I can draw his face. I don't know if I want to draw his whole thick ass body. Yeah, this is. Damn, I'm going through this sketchbook. I got the sketchbook at Muji. I really like how smooth the papers are. Yeah, draw Ethan. You guys like Ethan? Alright, I'm finding a picture of Ethan. Bradbury. Alright.
Make him smoke weed. Or Nate, sorry, vape.
Vaping. Does is this picture good for Ethan?
There's better one. This little is really straight on.
Yeah.
Scroll down.
I'm trying to find a nice picture of Ethan. I'm gonna go with this picture.
With the glasses?
Yeah. Drawing Ethan with his fupa. I'm working on a Muji paper. Once again, I don't know what it's called. They write everything in Japanese, but definitely nice paper that I'm running through right now. Let me give his little crazy curly hair. Give him some drool. Oh, I should have given him one with a beanie. He's not that fun to draw, though. I'm gonna go back to drawing. How long have you been? I've been drawing 22 years. 22 years been drawing. I feel like the longer I draw, like the longer a drawing session goes on for, the better and easier and less nervous I am about drawing. Looks like a wolf. Looks like a wolf coat.